Hi guys, this is Lois. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and safe wherever you are. I want to call upon you, yes you, who has succeeded in finding a means to come to Canada. And I want to tell you what you need to do after you land in Canada in the first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of your life in Canada are crucial. And that is what we want to discuss here today, so that you understand, so that you do not waste time, so that you don't mess up and you don't miss an important step towards your settlement. Okay, guys, have you subscribed? If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, like and share. These days we are found on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, TikTok, and now we are on Patreon. And on Patreon, we are introducing various privileges for the people who want to support us there. So please consider supporting us on Patreon, and the details of all those places where you can find us are going to be in the description part of this video, okay? For immediate help, if you need immigration services, because I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I'm based in Calgary, Alberta. If you need immigration advice, if you need a second opinion, if you need to know exactly how you fit into the Canadian immigration, please book a consultation on my website, www.mileleimmigrationservices.ca. I will be happy to assist you figure out Canadian immigration, because Canadian immigration is personal. Okay, my friend, let's not dwell on that. Now, landing the first 2 weeks. 2 weeks you have landed here, you are a student, you are a worker, you're a permanent resident, or you are coming here to settle. Through whichever means you are coming to Canada to settle, the most important thing that is going to determine a whole lot of all the other things is where you decide to live. And what I'll do with this video is that at the end, because I know I still get emails, Lois, put the links. How do I contact you? Where do I book consultation? I will put so many links, including links of the things that I'll discuss here, of places, what you need to do and where you will do it. The link will be in the description part of this video. Please, my friend, let me repeat that. All the links will be in the description part of that video. So you see where you get the name? Yes, just click on expanding that and you will see all the details of the things that I'll talk about here. Okay, my friend? Okay, good. I said, decide where you want to live, because where you want to live is important. And I'm sure when I say decide where you want to live, I've done a video about choosing a province, about choosing a city. So you've already chosen the city. So let's say you're coming to Calgary, for example, you're coming to Calgary. What I mean, decide where to live, decide on the neighborhood or the quadrant, because the neighborhood, or specifically where your house will be, is very important to how you will carry out yourself on all other things that pertain to you. Okay? Yes, decide where to live, whether you want to live in the northeast, in the northwest, in the southeast, in the southwest, in what neighborhood, and of course, what are you looking at in those neighborhoods? Do you have children? Are you looking for a community near a school, you know, a walkable space near a school, near a playground, a secure place? You know, all those things are things that you need to consider before you choose the place where you will live. So decide where you will live, my friends. Number 2, after you land like this, get free newcomer services. Okay, these newcomer services are usually free. So the government of Canada, as I said, has dedicated resources, and it's not just the government of Canada. There's non-governmental organizations here, non-profit organizations, which all they do is help newcomers settle, and they have resources. They are government funded. Those are people who are going to help you, you know, even getting free language assessment, registering for language classes if you're going to need language classes. If you need to get your credentials assessed, those people can help you get your credentials assessed here in Canada, and even help you in learning about your community services. Okay, so they are really good resources, and they are there whether you are coming as a visitor, as a a refugee, as a refugee claimant, as a student, as a worker, as a permanent resident. There's various services meant for diverse groups of newcomers that are arriving here. So make sure you utilize those resources. I tell people these resources are there for a reason. Make sure you utilize them. And these organizations, most of them, they are run by immigrants like myself, people who use those services. So we know what an immigrant is needing. We know the needs of an immigrant, the challenges of an immigrant. So please, by all means, access those services. Okay. The other thing that you will need to do is learn about the common expenses in Canada. And when I say about common expenses, of course, learn about the cost of living. And once you learn about the cost of living, you need to have watched the videos that I've been talking about. I've shown you guys about, just how much we spend here for groceries for my family. That kind of gives you an idea on the things that we spend on. Learn things that you must have, and I've made those videos, like you're gonna have to pay for utilities, that is heating, electricity, water, cable and internet, because you can't do without that. Your phone bills. What else do you need? Your bus passes. Learn about those. Also learn about things like GST and how GST applies, not just GST or HST, depending on the province where you're coming. So learn about the tax and how you will pay tax when you're buying commodities, because the prices, and I did this in my last video where I said, things that you need to know when you're coming to Canada. So understand about the cost of life here and just how much and what you'll be expecting, so that you don't get too much of a culture shock. Of course, the other thing that you will need to do is open a bank account, my friend. So depending on where you're planning to live, you're going to find different banks. So Canada has various banks. There's CIBC, there's RBC, there's TD, there are some like community circle kind of banks. So it's up to you. There's so many banks. Make sure you check them out and see the bank that is offering you the kind of services that you require, or the bank that fits your needs rather. Okay, so open a bank account, because you will need that. Most likely, if you don't have money, you may also get to be able to apply for financial assistance. Of course, the financial assistance, you're not going to do it at the bank. You may want to get it from the bank, but you will get it from the government of Canada, in the provincial government. So let's say at Service Canada, know whether you will need financial assistance, and if you qualify for financial assistance, so that is the time to apply for that. If you're going to be applying for financial assistance, guess what? They will need your bank account. So bank account is very critical. Okay. Yeah, so again, also it's also time to know, understand especially the kind of accounts. When I came here and I went to the bank, and they said, yes, it's $350 to open a checking account. And I was like, come on, $350, like $350 to open a checking account? No, it's $3.50. Anyway, that time it was $3.50 to open a checking account. So make sure that you understand those kind of terms and the kind of an account that you want to open. Whether it's a checking account, whether it's a savings account, whether it's a current account, depending on your needs, get yourself a bank account. Okay? Of course. Did you find a place to live? Now it's time to move. And you know what? Maybe you should have found a place to move before you get a bank account, because for you to open a bank account, you will need an address. Although even if you change an address, you could be staying at someone who is hosting you. You could be staying at a short-term rental. Wherever you're staying, that could be used as your address. You can always update your address. But now it's time to decide where you will stay, like which neighborhood, and look for a house that of course fits your needs. So the cost of living can vary depending on the city and province and the location where you are. So you find that larger cities are more expensive than smaller towns. But you also want to know where it's cheaper in smaller towns. You want to know whether that small town is going to meet your needs and that of your family. Okay? The other thing, of course, you need to figure out is healthcare. So find out how to get healthcare. In Canada, healthcare is managed by provinces and territories. So to access the healthcare services, you must apply for a health card from your province or territory, my friend. Okay? It's also important when you're coming, please bring your own insurance, like travel insurance. It covers you for the duration before you get access to the provincial healthcare. So make sure you are always covered, because you never know, and healthcare is really important. So you do not want to be caught in a place whereby you don't have healthcare. And when I mention about these things, I don't want it to seem like you have to do one after the other. You can be doing these things all at the same time, because remember, I said 2 weeks in Canada, they are critical. You need to be taking care of these things. Now, the other thing that you need to get is get your social insurance number. Here is the SIN number, SIN number. Before you can work in Canada, you will need to get a SIN number, and a SIN number is issued at Service Canada. So you will also need the SIN number to receive most benefits and services from government programs. So you will not be able to do anything with the government without a SIN number. So you land like this, you go for a SIN number from Service Canada as soon as possible, my friend. Okay, that is the only way. Even if you get someone to hire you, you cannot get paid if you don't have that SIN number. So it's one of the things that you need to be getting, like land today, tomorrow you get your SIN number. Okay. Of course, if you don't have a work permit and you're going to need a work permit, it's also time to apply for a work permit. There are some people who don't come ready to work. You may need to be applying for a work permit. That is the time to apply for a work permit now that you have a SIN number. So you need to get a job, of course, to be able to sustain yourself. If you're depending on financial assistance from the government, they are going to know what you're doing to get yourself employed. So they'll be asking about what steps you're taking to get a work permit, or if you have a work permit, they'll be asking about the steps that you have taken to get yourself a job. So get your work permit. A work permit may also be able to help you access the public health coverage in some provinces. Okay, if you don't have a work permit already, you can apply for one when you arrive. Of course, if you are exempt, or depending on your qualifications, there's some classes of people who can apply for work permit, and I've talked about this. You can apply for work permit once you arrive in Canada. Okay, now last but not least, or actually not last but not least, but you need to get a job, my friend. Yes, now that you already have a work permit, or you have your permanent residence, assuming you came here as a permanent resident, you would have to apply for your PR card. Okay, so yes, once now you've applied for that, get yourself a job, my friend. Get yourself a job, apply for jobs, make looking for a job your full-time job, my friend, because you will need a job for you to settle successfully here, and just so that you can enjoy your immigration journey and you're able, to cater for your expenses without stressing the social services, because you can't depend on the social services for long. And in some cases, in some instances, if you depend too much on the social services, you will not be able to qualify for a lot of things. Like you may not be able even to sponsor your relatives if you come here and reach on the social services. So if you're going to need social services, I tell people, take them because you need that service, but get out of it as soon as possible and be self-sustaining as quickly as you can. Get that job, get that work permit, get that job, and get your life going. Then, of course, last but not least, if you have children, it's time to get your children to school, enroll them in school. So you find that here in Canada, elementary school, that is primary school, and secondary school, they are managed by the province or territory, and education is free if children are attending public schools. I have talked about this in so many videos, so make sure that you enroll your children in school. Kids must be in school here in Canada. They must go to school. So it's not a choice as a parent. Your child should go to school. If they're not going to school, you're gonna have issues with social services. Make sure you enroll your kids in school. Of course, a kid in a school in your neighborhood. So what will I be doing in this video? I'm going to put a link on how to get healthcare, how to apply for healthcare. I'll put that link. I'll also put a link on how to apply for a SIN number, how to apply for financial services, financial assistance if you need that. I'll also put a link on where to apply for work permits, how to look for employment, and also how to learn about the various school systems in Canada. I'll have all those links in the description part of this video. So my friend, welcome to Canada, and I hope that your first 2 weeks are a bliss and that they are going to propel you in your future Canadian settlement. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye now.